she's being told X, Y, and Z, and I don't think you might get out of there. Well, the crowd are seeing the picture.
Alex Eala did not weep privately, but on court in front of thousands of people. But it wasn't until her coach broke the silence around her tears that fans understood the reason for her breakdown. There she was, center court, thigh wrapped, voice trembling as she apologized to fans who loved her no matter what. It felt like heartbreak. It sounded like disappointment. And for a while, nobody from her team said anything. That quiet just made everyone wonder even more.
Revealed, the heartbreaking secret behind Alex Eala's tears. Coach exposes everything. Ladies and gentlemen,
just so you know, real fans subscribe. The rest, just tourists. Which one are you? Once her coach Joan Bosch did talk, what he said changed the whole meaning of those tears. Those were tears of an individual who broke down when under pressure. They were the words of a person who had shed more than she likely ought to have. Her body, her heart, all that she possessed. Before now, Alexandra Maniego Eala has never led a small sporting life. She was born on May 23, 2005 in Quezon City and was brought up in a world where discipline, sacrifice, and competitive excellence was the order of the day. Her mother, Southeast Asian Games bronze medallion winner in swimming, Rosemarie Maniego Eala, was aware of the physical and mental requirements of high-level sport and early instilled those lessons in her children. Her uncle Noli Eala, a sports national leader, also exposed her to the greater responsibility of being a representative of a country. Hard work was required, and aspiration was not imposed, but directed in those family homes. Training was not an aspect to be taken lightly like schoolwork, and improvement was valued rather than applause.
Of course, yung suporta ng kanyang pamilya has been immeasurable.
But even upon that basis, the resolution to allow a 12-year-old boy to leave home and go to Spain was deep-rooted. It was premature independence, cultural accommodation, and emotional alienation, all at the service of a dream that required her to be far older than she was. At the time when Alex went to Rafa Nadal Academy in Mallorca, she exchanged the familiar with the intense one. The warmth of Manila streets was swept away with regular schedules, alien tongues and courts where there was no one to forgive and forgive. And by her mid-teenage years, she was already redefining what Filipino tennis could be like.
I would think this is a place for someone to learn new things and someone to be exposed to professionalism in tennis, to learn how to be disciplined and to learn how to socialize as well. I think to be surrounded in this environment where everybody's working hard, you know, it's a place where excellence can really grow.
Shortly, junior Grand Slam titles followed. History followed her too. When she won the girls singles title at the United States Open in 2022, she became the first Filipino to ever do so. It was not just a trophy, it was a statement. Turning professional did not slow the pace. She collected wins on the ITF circuit, climbed the rankings, and by 2025, she was doing things no Filipina had ever done on the WTA Tour. A semifinal run at the Miami Open saw her defeat players ranked in the top 5 of the world. Her ranking rose to 73. The prize money crossed $800,000, but numbers only tell part of the story. Each milestone carried the quiet expectation that she was now carrying something bigger than herself.
Like my coaches and everyone in the academy has supported me so much. So this is not just for me.
That is what made the Philippine Women's Open so emotionally charged. This was not just another tournament stop. This was home. The Rizal Memorial Tennis Center was packed with fans waving flags and chanting her name. For many of them, Alex Eala was the first tennis player they had ever followed this closely. She was proof that the Philippines belonged on the global tennis map. For Alex, it was a homecoming she had imagined for years. However, bodies do not inevitably go along with dreams, particularly where the personal stakes are so high. Since the initial rounds, there was obviously something wrong. The bandaged leg, the right thigh of Alex was very tight, and the quick movement, which is the characteristic of her game, was lacking. She was a step slower, shy in the impulse to take the step, but not disposed to check herself. Any rally demanded more than it ought to of her body, and she continued to respond. One did not have to go far to know that she was playing despite pain, preferring grit to comfort since the moment was too serious to be taken lightly.
Bandaged up on her thigh, so a little bit of a concern there going forward. Luckily, she won.
By the time she reached the quarterfinals against Camila Osorio, the pressure inside the stadium was heavy but hopeful. Osorio brought experience and patience, extending points and forcing Alex to move in ways that exposed the injury. Still, Alex competed. She problem solved. She fed off the crowd and found small openings, especially when she briefly edged ahead in the second set. The reaction was explosive, the kind of roar that makes athletes believe they can override physical limits through will alone.
The main event for tonight, Alex Eala, Camila Osorio. First set.
That belief did not last. The pain eventually narrowed her options and slowed her recovery between points. Osorio recognized it and closed the match with control, not cruelty. When it ended, Alex stood still, processing what her body could not finish. At the microphone, the emotional armor she usually wears fell away. She apologized without prompting. The tears followed naturally. It was not about losing a match. It was about knowing how much she had left on the court and feeling she still owed more to the people who came to see her fight.
From those experiences, and I moved away from home early. I started to study in Spain when I was 13 years old. Just trying to adjust to certain customs and being a bit more independent, being more...
Social media exploded with theories. Some said the pressure of playing at home was too much. Others worried about her mental health. A few, as always, were cruel. Through all of it, Joan Bosch said nothing. For a coach known to be fiercely protective, that silence was intentional.
Depend on so many things, but I think I played really well today.
When Bosch eventually broke it, his words were simple and devastating. He said she gave everything she had. He reminded people that she was only 20 years old. Then he explained what the cameras could not fully show. Alex had been playing through significant thigh pain. The injury worsened during the match. The medical team and coaching staff discussed pulling back. Alex refused.
Hyperextended that. You almost feel like you have a cast on it.
According to Bosch, she knew her family was in the stands. She was aware of the importance of the tournament to the country. She would rather endure pain that might have had long-term effects, as she did not wish to disappoint anyone. All sprints, all broad balls, all long rallies were an act of will. The physical strain and the emotional discharge caught up simultaneously by the time the match was over.
You know that left leg is already hampered and she's definitely having...
In that perspective, the tears ceased to appear as a result of a single loss and begin to seem like the discharge of all the things that had culminated in it. They were not concerned about the scoreboard and the handshake at the net. They were concerning the silent awareness of the extent to which her body had taken in order to remain on the court. There is no glory in playing in pain when the game is over, and Bosch did not want to make a fool of himself by masquerading as blinding courage.
Player. Here, I think Iga felt what we felt in Miami.
Instead, he talked in a straightforward manner regarding the dangers, how career accidents can be ruined by neglecting trauma, and how a career can end before it begins. However, his admiration of her choice was also unquestionably evident as he recognized the risk. He was proud of the heart which she displayed, of the bravery which it takes to strain when it could be more convenient to withdraw, and of all the richness of care which prompted her to take that decision. It is also that night that revealed the type of pressure Alex Eala experiences whenever she competes. She does not get the anonymity most young players develop. Being the first Filipina to enter the list of the top 100, she has a spotlight under which even ordinary matches become moments of national meaning. Wins are celebrated as shared victories. Losses feel heavier because they are examined from every angle. Bosch has said before that this level of attention can slow development, especially for someone still learning her limits. Athletes need room to lose, to misjudge, to grow quietly. Alex rarely gets that space, and the tears were a reminder that carrying a country's expectations comes with a cost that is not always visible. The Philippine Women's Open was a perfect storm. Home crowd, lingering injury, high expectations, emotional investment years in the making. It is not surprising that it ended the way it did. What is remarkable is how quickly that moment was turned into something larger. Fans rallied around her. Messages of support flooded in. Instead of disappointment, there was pride. Bosch's relationship with Alex is central to this resilience. He has been with her since her academy days, shaping not just her game but her mindset. Their bond is built on trust and honesty. He knows when to push and when to step back. His decision to remain silent immediately after the match was not avoidance, it was respect. He gave his player space to process her own emotions before adding his voice to the noise. Alex's career has already been marked by emotional moments. Tears after historic wins. Tears after tough losses. Each one has traced her evolution from prodigy to professional. At 20, she is still learning how to balance ambition with self-preservation. That lesson is not easy, especially when so many people are watching. Beyond the court, Alex Eala represents something deeply meaningful for Filipino sports. She is proof that global success is possible. She inspires young players who now pick up rackets believing there is a path forward. Her vulnerability only deepens that connection. She does not pretend the journey is painless. She shows the cost honestly. Looking ahead, her schedule continues. More tournaments, more challenges, recovery from injury, adjustments to be made. But if the Philippine Women's Open revealed anything, it is that Alex Eala is not defined by a single loss. She is defined by how much she is willing to give and how thoughtfully she learns when to protect herself. Joan Bosch's words did more than explain a moment. They reframed it. They reminded the world that behind every viral clip is a human story. A young woman standing at the intersection of dreams, duty, pain, and love for her people. The tears that fell that night were not the end of something. They were a marker of growth. In the years to come, when Alex Eala lifts bigger trophies and writes new chapters, that night in Manila will still matter. Not because of the loss, but because of what it revealed. Heart, courage, and the quiet strength to feel deeply in front of the world and still keep going. And that's all for today's video. Tell us in the comments what you think about Eala's journey, and be sure to subscribe to see more exciting videos. Thank you for watching. Bye.